So it's Cybersecurity Month, and we all know what it's about. It's all about cyber awareness training and so forth. This is kind of where we try to get cyber out there so everybody knows what's happening. And there was some big news this week that, I have none other than my friend Alex to kind of chat about it. And basically, there was news this week that the DoD is actually cutting down on cyber training. And my favorite part of this is that it said they wanted them to concentrate on what they're meant for, Department of War, which is warfare. And I'm thinking that has got to be hilarious because if we're talking warfare and you're kind of dismissing cyber, something is wrong somewhere. So anyway, Alex, welcome as always. And how are you feeling Cybersecurity Month? Any exciting things going for you?
The joy of working in cybersecurity is there's always something going
Yeah.
on, and there's so many facets and so many dimensions to cybersecurity. It's I find it interesting when we're sitting there saying, "Hey, it's Cybersecurity Month," but
Yeah.
it's
What's
just
funny
something
to
that
me
doesn't
is
stop.
Cybersecurity Month has, in my opinion, right, has almost always come to turn into this whole month-long fishing campaign thing. I don't know if that's your feeling about, but that's kind of what I've seen. Like, and I see it everywhere. It's like, oh, Cybersecurity Awareness Month. It's almost like a fishing campaign right now. Like, let's just do this for a whole month. Like, but I wish it was just, more of, I don't know, kind of getting the word out there. I know we do like the security champions and things like that, but it's just
Well, my company, the company that I work for, has started cybersecurity awareness. I am in the security division of my
yeah.
organization, and Um, to bring awareness to cybersecurity, my our CISO introduced a goat.
A goat.
Yes, yes, and the goat acronym actually stands for something, and they brought a live goat. We need to name it, and
Wait,
somehow
what?
they've attached a goat to this training video to cybersecurity. So
You mean like an actual goat?
yeah, yes,
like goat like I'm thinking a lot of things, but probably
a
not
goat,
not
kind of goat.
appropriate.
You see a mountain. Yes, yes,
Yeah, like Mount. Okay, that's interesting. Wow. So
yeah.
wait, what does the goat stand
You
for?
know, the acronym, what do you call it? The most embarrassing part is I can't remember the acronym right now.
Oh boy.
That's how
Uh
memorable it was. But I
great
was
greatest
like,
greatest of all something.
yeah, great, yeah, and but but you bring this up, right? How we are always desperate for attention and cyber awareness, but somehow we're always attuned every day in our lives to cyber awareness. I mean,
Yeah.
or cybersecurity. I mean, no one no one goes onto literally your device. You put in a pin or a biometric scan or something. You start the first moment of your day. If
Yeah.
you're like most people who wake up and the first thing you look at your phone, you start your first moment of your day in interacting in some efforts or some way with cybersecurity. So
Interesting.
it's really really interesting, and and lately I've had a fair number of friends approaching me about hey, should I get my CISSP and all these things. So I guess suffice to say is what I'm getting at is that just the level of attention in cybersecurity during my career, which is spanning close to 20 years in cybersecurity, or even a little
Yeah.
more. I've lost track. I'm just old.
That's long.
Um,
That's long. Yeah, yeah.
it,
I
it,
thought I thought that
it,
was interesting news. I was like, wait, the first thing that
yeah,
jumped out at me, I was like, you're kidding, right? Like, they should concentrate on war. I mean, just let's mention a few things,
I
drones
think
and whatever.
so.
Like,
Let's talk about this. I have an interesting perspective. For the audience's background, I have my career was in the military doing cybersecurity. I spent
yeah,
23 years in the United States Air Force. Of it, 15. I'll be a little more generous. I'll say maybe 10 years of it was directly in some aspect of cyber warfare or cybersecurity,
yeah,
in one aspect or another. And I used to develop spearfishing campaigns. I used to go on to military installations, develop spearfishing campaigns, use it, bring the whole base into a auditorium. At one point, we were speaking to over 1,000 people. about, hey, the spear phishing campaign happened, and this is how you were owned, right? Um, and then what we're talking about here. Sorry, it's my cat decided to jump over here.
No worries.
What we're talking about here is that the DoD wants to relax the annual policy of
Of the
of,
required
of
training,
training.
right?
Now, the training to me, admittedly, was for me personally was like, can I just click through this? Can I just, for the love of God, can I just click through this? Can I just get this over with? Right? Get me off the bad boy list. Corporate America still does it every year. So let me take this perspective on. Is it really effective to do it year over year if it never changes? If the topic never changes?
That's a good
You know,
question. Insanity,
you
right?
know, because how, I'm pretty. You're in your company, and you and I both have worked for large corporate organizations, or still do. That I'm pretty sure one of the first things you did when you onboarded on the company, what
Yeah,
did you
you
have to
take
do?
that required training cyber. It's part of the required training for cyber and so forth. So
Oh,
as much as all the other compliance stuff that you
for,
take.
for,
So
for the love of goodness, in my last company, I was in a cybersecurity video, professionally shot one, you know, and I had to watch my own video.
how did you feel? You're like, okay, wait, that's me,
It's
right?
kind of surreal. But there's two ways we could take this conversation to DoD. They're sitting there saying it's like, hey, maybe this they don't feel it's effective, right? But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the conversation that we should have here is why, if we're still having so many spear phishing campaigns, so many spear phishing incidents are successful, and
Yeah,
the click through rates are still extraordinarily high. Is the training valuable? Are
that
we
makes
training on
sense.
the right things? Those are the questions I have. I
Yeah,
don't, I'm not in the military anymore. I mean, my last jobs in the military had me. I helped set up a cyber warfare schoolhouse.
yeah.
I did pen testing. My last employer before this one, I was
No, I think
actively in
my
it. Yeah.
initial question, right? Like I said, when I saw that news headline is because it said, "Oh, we want them to concentrate on what they're meant for, which is war." And I'm thinking, what is the biggest war right now, if any, right? Like as far as cyber warfare is concerned. So I guess that's why
Yeah.
it was a little interesting to me because I was
No,
like, okay,
I find it very interesting too that they chose to single out, cybersecurity training. I'm
yeah,
not like I said, I'm trying to think of like what are all the viewpoints.
yeah, sure,
But yeah, I do find it very interesting, right? That unless the DoD is telling us, or Department of War, that's new to me. It's going to take me a moment to get used to that. Unless the Department of War is telling us that's like, you know what, we're no longer we're no longer getting spearfished. Everything's going great. No one's attacking us anymore. We don't need this.
but the reality is, you and I know that. I mean, like you said, if there are two sides to it, right? If the reason being, okay, we do this every year and nothing is changing, then I don't see how they make that case for it because then that means like nobody's like, I mean, it's kind of weird to me. Like if it's not changing, then obviously then something is still needed, right? But then also should we continue to put resources and cost and whatever to it? So it's kind of interesting, like on both sides.
Well,
But
yeah. So do I agree with it? To a point. And I'll go back to what my opening story, which was every year, we just click through it, right? Or just for the love of goodness, just let me click through this. I've seen there's a joke. There's a site. There are memes out there. You can look it up on the DoD Cyber Awareness Challenge of Janet. Whatever Janet does, don't do what Janet
mm,
does. Right? You know, and because it was the
wait,
same
why
thing year over
Janet?
year.
Don't get into
Unfortunately,
that.
that's the inside joke. You're gonna have to take the DoD Cyber Awareness Challenge training.
Whatever Janet does, don't do it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, but there's this whole, it's like this whole elaborate, animated characters of like, hey, pop, Janet comes up, she's like, hey, put this thumb drive in the computer, kind of character, right?
Yeah,
But I just clicked through because it's the same thing year over year. I wasn't gaining any benefit. I mean, of course, too, I'm also a cybersecurity professional. I always wish that they had just let me test out,
yeah.
but they would never let you do that. Um, no, I don't necessarily think that's. Now, if we go to my opinion, now that I'm a civilian, I can have one. I don't think this is a good idea. I think there is a value in it. I think the what real conversation should be is like, how do we make
More relevant training,
more
right?
relevant,
I think
more
that's always
useful
been what it is, and that's
training?
why I made the joke in the beginning. Like
Mhm.
for me, it seems like we talk about Cyber Awareness Month, and it's oh, this is when we do all the phishing campaigns. Plus, and then it gets funny because if everyone hears Cybersecurity Month, they're like, "Yep, those IT folks are about to keep sending us some phishing emails." So everybody's kind of like eyes out, looking out for it. So does it really even help? I don't
Well,
know.
you know, I will admit this: the work I used to do when I was with the Red Team units, right? We developed very elaborate, very detailed secure sheet campaigns, and I wish I could show it to y'all. It was some of the work I was really really proud of, right? Um, and that we actually, no kidding, one I did at Dover Air Force Base, we did it, and no kidding, right after our training, people reported 3 or 4 actual phishing events.
Yeah.
Like that, like there was a demonstrable difference, but it wasn't like your regular training event. It was, if I can talk to it, it's really interesting. The way we designed our campaign was that we picked a theme. So the theme on this one was distracted driving, right? So I spoofed an official Air Force site, spoofed it, downloaded it, designed a site with this is really going to age me, an Adobe Flash, like click here to install Flash
Yeah.
on your computer, and it was really the opening page of the video. And as soon as they clicked it, they opened these videos of these young girls were driving in their car. I actually took the video from some British distracted driving thing, these young teenagers, and all of a sudden, the moment it looks like they're about to crash, it's super dramatic, like the girl's texting and driving on a little clicky phone, and the moment she's about to crash, it goes to static, and it comes up, congratulations, you've just been spearphished, right? And then we ran through a quick of like, this is how you put the Air Force networks at risk, and we played Strangers in the Night for the background music. I don't know why I chose that, but it was very effective. And I think if organizations would invest in something like that has like a real impact, like a real moment, not like with a clicky through kind of thing, I think that's more effective.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
You know,
I don't know if you saw like that episode I did with Jamil, and one of the things
I
he said
missed it.
was, which
So
was
your
interesting.
stuff is good though. I've been super impressed what you've
Yeah,
been putting out
and
lately.
he was like, yeah, like he said something about fishing, which was very interesting. He said, like we shouldn't like fishing shouldn't be this like caricature or whatever that people are. It's like I want people to click on fishing links, but what happens in the event of somebody clicking a fishing link is what really matters to me. Like if somebody clicks a fishing link and all my security parameters is down, then something is going on, something is wrong. So click on phishing email, your EDR should be working. You're like all these other
That
things in
don't even
place.
see. This is where you go really dangerous, right? Because
You're trusting the
you're gonna fall into Alex's pet peeve with cybersecurity professionals, that we victim blame too much. We blame users. We never
no,
blame the
no,
system.
and I think no, that's what he was actually talking
Yeah,
about.
no,
As
not to
in,
say
like,
that. I agree.
yeah,
That's my
let
point.
the people click the link. Like,
Yeah.
what happens when you click a link,
Well,
and does it get isolated? Does it, all of those things is
we
what
have
matters.
we
Like,
have a
that's what he was
very,
trying to say. Yeah,
in my opinion, um, we have a very, I think there's a certain hubris that exists in IT professionals. It's existed since the beginning of IT,
yeah,
right? Did you turn it on and off again? The users are dumb, right? And I find it really interesting that in the world of aviation, right? Pilots, they design airplanes to, from the color of the cockpit to the way the displays look, right? To
yeah,
prevent, and there are procedures and checklists to prevent crashes. We're designing cars that we know people are going to drive distracted. So maybe we'll put some kind of, crash prevention system and whatever
yeah,
in it, right? We don't I wish we'd put the same energies into to your to I gotta watch that. I gotta watch your podcast there to your friend's point of like, just let them click it. It should there should be, there's so much computing power in AI.
yeah.
It shouldn't someone clicking the link should not destroy
Should
your
not should Yes,
should not
exactly,
take your company
exactly.
offline.
Yeah.
Right? And because it's multifaceted, right? So
Yeah.
defense in depth, proper permissioning, permissions. There's so many things.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. I think there was something interesting that I wanted to read out and see what you thought about that. I think as I read this, there was something I highlighted. Let me see if I can still find it.
go ahead.
Uh, it said, let me see where the gosh, it was a really nice point someone made. Maybe we can keep talking. I'll look for it. I saw it somewhere and I thought I was gonna share that with you and see what your thoughts were, but maybe it's this one. As annoying and popular as cyber training sessions are, they do deserve a purpose, which is to protect our networks and troops against proven enemy cyber threats. Rather than relax cybersecurity training, it would have been better for our warfighting capability to update the training. I think that's what you just said, right?
It's been the
Update the
same
training,
training
yeah, both
for
to enhance its
over, like I
its
said, you can look it up. You can look it up, the DoD Cyber Awareness
yeah,
Training Challenges memes, and there's Janet,
yeah,
and it's I mean, but also there. I also felt like the DoD Cyber Awareness Training was more checking a box
yeah.
than like, okay, we have cybersecurity training, and we're not going to spend more money on it.
Yeah, wasn't it like what's the wasn't like the CISSP became like this thing where everybody had to have one,
Oh,
and then I think there was
you're
just
gonna
this.
you're gonna lead
I
me
mean, I did.
down. You're gonna just
You don't
you're
have
just
to
gonna
say it. You don't have to
you're gonna
say it, but
trigger
I
me
thought it
left
was
and
it was
right. The
interesting.
DoD 8570 requirement, I think it's called 8640 now or whatever,
Yeah,
where it required people to have commercial certifications in order to
yeah.
be relevant in your jobs. And I was like, well, that feels like a cash grab.
Yeah, but the
Um,
reality is like, I mean, I think I saw a slew of like people with CISSPs, but no offense to anybody, you still get into a conversation with people, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, some people like great at
uh,
studying,
uh,
and
look, I'm gonna sit there. I will. I don't want to disparage the entire industry. I have
yeah,
friends who are in it, but I allowed my CISSP to lapse
yeah,
because I was working for one of the premier cybersecurity organizations on the planet, and they're like, "Well, you still need more CPEs." I'm like, "For the love of
like
goodness,
really, yeah, I've been doing this.
I'm literally hunting Russians and Chinese, and they're talking and they're doing novel attacks that you guys can't even haven't even like. I don't know if they were even talking about cloud identity
Yeah.
security or those kinds of things. They're still talking like yeah, defense in depth. Like seriously.
Yeah, I
Um,
think. Oh, I saw this the paragraph
I
that I wanted. It said the Department of War is committed to enabling our warfighters to focus on their core mission of fighting and winning our nation's wars without distraction. Mandatory department training will be directly linked to war fighting, or otherwise be consolidated, reduced in frequency, or eliminated.
I again, I don't. Again, this is news to me in the last 3 hours. I
Yeah,
don't understand the depth of it. I think we all know as much as we do, but I can understand where they feel like it's just a bureaucratic click box that's not doing
yeah,
anything. But I also would love to understand. Are you eliminating cybersecurity training, or are you making it better? Or are you
yeah.
relaxing the requirements? Because I shall go back to
It
the
sounds
point.
to me they're laying all the options, but I think we all know what that really means. Yeah, so. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I just thought it was interesting because I'm like,
No, it
wow, you,
is.
you talk about warfare. This is warfare,
This
right? This is
no,
like,
no, no, dude. We are
uh,
constantly at
yeah,
war in this space,
yeah,
and
exactly.
every day the sophistication of threat actors just
Yeah,
continues to get. You know, I mean, back when I did my training, right? One of the things I had people look for was misspelled words, right?
yeah.
Now if I'm a threat actor, I can get an agent, a little chat GPT or Claude,
Yeah,
whatever,
the good point, Alex.
and
The whole
and
phishing,
the
look
whole
for
phishing
these signs,
industry, you know,
bad English, whatever.
yeah,
It's all
that's
gone.
that's 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 not even, I mean, ChatGPT will write a way better email than I will.
That I probably could write. You're right. Now the funny thing is though, do you? I'm gonna have to controversial. I mean, bring up a controversial point, I guess. What was the reason for that? Was that one of those things where we said pwned versus owned, or that was just because a lot of those came from a certain place where English wasn't the first language?
My theory,
Yeah,
right? My honest going theory is that I am of the belief that there was threat actors or cyber criminal set that did use that English wasn't their first language. That was very obvious.
Yeah.
Um, but but that was just one indicator of compromise. But unfortunately, I think we did lean real heavily. We really leaned heavily
Yeah.
into that indicator of compromise.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, um,
But I mean, I was just thinking like even people who did those fish, I like over time everybody knew, oh, if you see like misspelled words and bad grammar and whatever, I'm sure at some point they're like, okay, we can get somebody to write write
I'm
something.
just amazed my emails that sometimes the way I write doesn't
Yeah.
get
I
doesn't
mean,
get
doesn't get detected as phishing,
doesn't get
right? Because
detected.
it could
Sometimes
easily
I'm
be,
writing
yeah.
emails a little too fast, and there's a couple misspelled words or
Yeah,
sentences that don't make
absolutely,
sense.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
no, I think to your point though, I think it was just a easy indicator of compromise that was like easy to explain, and
Yeah.
I think we probably leaned too much into it. I think there
Yeah.
should have been better conversations. Well, back in during my day, the DoD time,
Yeah. And
of like
even even
have
with the what you call it, the like the way those HTML pages were
Mhm.
created and whatever, like I mean, people could
There's
create way sophisticated like
oh
templates right now
well,
with
let, let me
AI
let,
and
let me go back to my experience of when I did it. Right, I'm not the most in-depth developer, right? But I did it. I figured out how to scrape a page, how to take a page down, how to rehost it.
yeah.
You know,
Remember, yeah, when what was the name of that tool? Set or something? SET? Yeah, security. It was sets
yeah,
or something. Yeah.
yeah, it's that Kali package.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty interesting, but nowadays nobody probably needs that. Like I mean, AI could do this in yeah, seconds.
No,
Crazy.
but let's talk about better defense in depth. Let's talk
Yeah.
about having AI being the first pass to read an email, right?
Yeah.
Where are we with? I mean, there are a lot of sophisticated tools that are protecting us as we speak. If you're, I did what you call it this anti phishing on Android, right? A lot of people surprisingly, and this blew me away when I worked at Google, that we have an anti phishing tool built into Android,
Oh,
and it's entirely an opt in mode. And this takes like real time DNS caching and everything, updates of the unknown bad list as fast as Google, and then it gets downloaded to your phone or gets put in the Google DNS.
yeah.
Amazing tool. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't know about it, right? But you have to opt in.
Yeah.
It's in
Exactly.
like three menus deep, right? I think there back. I think back to the point.
Yeah.
I think the training is a good conversation. I think, in my opinion, better training, not elimination of training, is where I would lean into it. Um, but then back to the point of like, well, why aren't we building better tools that's protecting? Again, a single mouse click should not take. You know, was wasn't there? What's the most recent company to be hit by ransomware?
Jeez, which one?
I thought there was one I was hearing
No,
about
when you
today in
said
the
that, I
news.
just thought about I don't know if you've seen what's I don't know what it is yet, but I don't know if you've been following some auto industry that's been out, like their manufacturing plants have been out for more than a month now.
I think that might have been it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know if it's officially out as ransomware or whatever, but I'm highly suspecting that it's probably
Yeah,
because
and it's I find it interesting that I know ransomware is still happening,
yeah.
but how little I hear about it in the press.
Is it because we're just not hearing it because people not reporting it, or it's still like I mean,
Or it's just like there's a playbook now, ransomware,
yeah,
right?
yeah, right. Here's the check, take it. Like we
Here's
have
our
backups, so we don't really care.
here's our Bitcoin account. How no, well, but dude, what always got me about ransomware, kind of in the spear phishing realm and ransomware and everything, was just how bad healthcare gets hit by this.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
someone I had a relationship with is a nurse, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we have full on procedures for ransomware because it just happens."
wow,
And
and
this is at a major medical facility here. I think it was the Fred
yeah, that's
Hutch.
crazy. It's like I think healthcare facilities scare me the most because anytime I go in, I think of like how exposed just everything is in terms of like
I
your ability to plug anything. And I
uh,
mean, no offense, anytime even my physician leaves me and walks out, and I'm like, you should
is
just
a
leave
screen
me
unlock?
with
No, no.
yeah, did you just leave me with your computer
I
open? And
I
like it's so weird, like. Yeah.
So my mom as well. Let me preface that she's doing much better now. But I spent a fair amount of time earlier this year, unfortunately, in a hospital with her. And of course, I'm there in the middle of this very stressful moment, right? But the thing that's bugging me is all the nurses leaving all the EHR things wide
Yeah.
open as
Yeah.
I'm
I guess.
walking around
Yeah.
this facility, just all over the place. I'm just looking, just like and like I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Healthcare facilities definitely scare me because I'm like, anytime I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, like this is, yeah, weird. But, I mean, yeah. And glad mom is doing well, by the way. So it's good.
yeah. But
Yeah.
the conversation too. Let's go back to the original thing. I think the conversation here is not elimination training. Because if I was to pillar this up, it was like first, yeah, the DoD training did need improvement. As a previous
Yeah.
customer and sufferer of it, it did need improvement, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't updated. So I could see people saying, "Yeah, well, it's stupid. We need to get rid of it," right?
Yeah. Makes
Better
sense.
training is needed, more relevant training, more timely training,
Yeah.
right? And because the train, to your point, like we are just talking about misspelled words, not a big deal anymore,
Yeah. I mean,
right?
like I
So
said,
what's the new thing that it should change every year? It should evolve
yeah.
every year. It should get better every
True.
year,
True. Cool.
and
Yeah, well,
then
I saw this and I was like, hey, let me grab my friend Alex. Let's kind of chit chat about this. I mean, it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so we're gonna be talking about a lot of different things. Hopefully we can do this like a lot of nights before Cyber Awareness Month is over. So yeah,
I think we have some good topics, and we might
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So it always great to hear your voice and chit chat about cyber stuff.
Well,
Do we
thank
do
you.
we ever do we ever talk about anything other than cyber?
That's a good
Different
question.
things. We talk about boats. We talk about
Yeah,
we
about
talk about a lot of
boats.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we do spend a fair amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to talk about, and there's
Yeah.
a lot to teach. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, Alex. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to kind of get this going, and we'll see. We'll be back probably maybe a couple other nights and see what we can chat about.
thank you.
All right,
Thanks so
Alex.
much,
Take
man.
care. Bye.